Hey everybody, how are you? Welcome back to art class. So for today's project, we're going to learn a little bit about a holiday. Now this holiday originated in Mexico a long time ago. Now it's celebrated in other parts of the world, not just Mexico. It's still really popular in Mexico, other countries in Central and South America, but there's places in America that celebrates this holiday. That holiday that we're talking about is called Dia de Muertos. So, Dia de Muertos is Spanish, and when we translate that to English, it means the Day of the Dead. Hopefully, you watched the video at the top of this page, because that video is going to teach you a bunch of facts, a bunch of things about the history of the holiday, why it's celebrated, when people started celebrating it, what happens when we celebrate this holiday. So if you didn't watch that one, stop what you're doing, go watch that first, and then come back here. Okay. So now, hopefully we've all seen it. So, Day of the Dead sounds kind of a spooky name for a holiday, right? But it's not. It's actually, it's a very happy holiday, which is there to celebrate our family members, celebrate our ancestors that might not be around anymore. There's a word that we're going to talk about because our project is based on this thing, and that word is imagery. So the word imagery, when we talk about the imagery of something, it's the visuals, the things that we can see that make us think of that topic. So if we think of the imagery of Christmas, we might think of Santa Claus and Christmas trees. If we think of the imagery of the 4th of July, we might think of the American flag and fireworks, things like that. So the imagery for Dia de Muertos is something that we would see as also some of the imagery for one of our own holidays, which is Halloween. But that's kind of where it stops. They're not really very much alike, but they do share some of the imagery. One of the main things that we think of when we think of this holiday, Day of the Dead, Dia de Muertos, is one of these things. One of these really decorative, bright, colorful skulls. Now, if you learned from the video, if you watched the video that explained about the holiday, you'll know that these things are based on those little candies, those things that they call sugar skulls. So for what we're doing today, we'll just call this guy Sugar Skull 2, even though it's a drawing and unfortunately not candy. And I say unfortunately because candy tastes good. So, let's talk about this guy. He looks like a skull. He looks like the skull that we have. Now, he's not 100% realistic. He's definitely more of a cartoon version of a skull. But he's got a lot of the same parts that our skulls do. He has some eye holes. He has a nose hole, because I'm sure you guys are all smart and you know that our nose isn't really part of our skull. It's made up of cartilage. So if that's not there, there's a hole. We see the bottom of his skull. We can see where the bottom jaw is separate from the top part up there. So he's got a lot of the same things, but then, of course, there's a lot of stuff about him that is not realistic, right? The colors, all of the images and the designs on it. So the skeletons, the skulls, the sugar skulls that we're going to be making today are going to be way more like this guy and not much like the real one that's inside of our head. All right. So that's kind of all we needed to talk about to get started. Wanted us to kind of learn a little bit about the holiday, why these skulls are part of that imagery of the holiday, how it's something that could maybe be considered spooky, but it's not. It's a happy thing, and as you can see from these skulls, they're all bright, happy skulls. Alright, so we are going to work together to learn how to draw kind of the main shapes of a skull, and then you'll be on your own to decide how you want to decorate it. So let's go ahead and get started, and if you want, you can follow along with me for the first couple of steps, and then we'll talk about where you need to go from there. Alright, let's get started drawing. Alright everybody, so for our project this week, you're going to need some paper, you're going to need a pencil, and you will definitely want something to color with, because when these sugar skulls are done, we want them to be full of all kinds of awesome, bright, happy colors. All right, so let's talk about the main shape, the main outline of our skull. Kind of like a circle up top, kind of like a U shape down below. The circle is going to be the widest part, and our U shape is going to be a little bit skinnier. So when you think about the main shape that we're going to do, I kind of want you to think about a light bulb. You know, it has the big rounded part up top, and then the smaller section that you actually screw into the light socket. So I'm going to start with the round part. Now I'm thinking about a circle, but I'm not going to draw an entire circle. I'm going to come down here to start. I'm going to draw a line that curves up and then comes back down like that. So that's about, I don't know, 2/3 of a circle, maybe a little more, maybe like 80% of a circle. Now, we said that down here we've got a U shape. I'm going to add one more thing just to make it look a little more realistic. I'm going to take and I'm going to draw a line that curves out and back that way, and out and back that way. If this was a skeleton, this would be where your jaw connects. This would be kind of near your cheekbone. This is kind of what makes your cheeks poke out the way they do. So now that I've got that, I can finish my jaw shape. I'm gonna come down, curve just a little bit, and then do the same thing that way, like that. All right, so there is the outline of my skull. So that would be step one, is my outline. Step two, I am gonna draw my teeth and my nose, or the hole for my nose. If this is my bottom jaw, then my teeth are going to start right around here. So kind of in the middle of that shape that you made. I'm going to draw a line that curves slightly and goes all the way over to the other side like that. That's going to be where my teeth come together. So for my teeth, I'm going to use lines that curve like this. Kind of like an upside down U. And if you think about it, most of us, our center two teeth are a little bit bigger. If you want, go look in a mirror and see what your teeth look like. And then down here, I'm going to do the same shape, but upside down. I want those to kind of line up. Something kind of like that. All right, so if this is where my mouth is, then we know that my nose is going to be right around here. So the easiest shape that I can tell you for the nose hole that we have in our skull, it looks a lot like an upside down heart. So if you need to flip your skull over to draw this because you're used to drawing hearts this direction, that's fine. Do one side of my heart right there. And one side of my heart right there. So now it's starting to look a bit like a skull. So I've got my teeth, I've got my nose hole. Now, time for the eyes. And before you make this decision, you might want to go down a little bit further in our page here underneath the lesson, because I've got a bunch of different examples. And you'll see that a lot of these sugar skulls, a lot of these Day of the Dead skulls, they don't have normal looking like eye holes. It's not just a round hole. A lot of these will have different shapes there. These will be flowers. These might be hearts. These might be diamonds. These might be stars. So do yourself a favor, before you make any of these decisions, go look at some of our examples, because they might help you come up with, a good idea. I am going to choose to make some big flower shapes for my eyes. And I'm going to start with a circle for each one. And then I will add my flower petals all around the edge. Like that. All right, so I've got my eyes, my nose, and my mouth. That's how we all need to start. We might all have different eyes, but we need something there for our eyes, our nose, and our mouth. Now comes the fun part. Now you get to decorate these. You can add as many decorations as you want. Look at the examples for help with that. A lot of the decorations that we see on these, we see lines, we see patterns, we see dots. A lot of them look floral. A lot of them look like they're parts of flowers or vines or things like that. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and add some decoration to mine. I'll do it kind of quick so you don't waste a lot of time watching it, and then we'll come back and we'll talk about it just a little bit more. All right, so I've got some decorations. These usually are pretty full of stuff, you know? I've got more room. I could add more patterns if I wanted to. I might before I'm all done. You'll notice that most of these, the decorations are symmetrical. And remember, symmetry is when we take our imaginary line down the middle of something and it's got the same stuff on this side as it does on this side. And that's probably just because our faces are usually pretty symmetrical. So when people started decorating these, they would decorate them symmetrical as well. All right, so I'm gonna add just a few more things. I'm gonna color it. I'll do it all quick. I just want you guys to be able to see kind of the finished idea of what I'm going for. And then you can get started on the rest of yours. All right, here we go. All right, so there is my finished Dia de Muertos sugar skull. Hope you guys enjoy it. Hope you guys thought it was interesting to learn about a holiday from another part of the world, from another culture. Good luck on yours. Remember, nice and full of extra decorations. Make them big on your paper so you've got room for all those decorations. Bright, happy, awesome colors. Can't wait to see them. Hope everyone's doing well. See you guys later. Bye.